Well, now to a congressman who's going to be meeting with the president-elect later today. Republican Wisconsin Congressman Bryan Steil. Congressman, welcome to the program. And what is on your agenda when you sit down with the president-elect later today?
The real key is that we walk out of here with an agreement as to whether or not we're going to do one bill or two. At the end of the day, what's important is that we're unified so we can drive forward an American first agenda with President Trump. I think there's two key things that we have to make sure we get done coming in out of the gates in the first year here. We have at risk a $4 trillion tax increase, and we have to secure the U.S.-Mexico border. I'm of the view that one bill is easier than two difficult negotiations. But at the end of the day, what's important is that we're unified so that we can deliver on President Trump's agenda and the mandate that the voters have sent us, which is to both secure the border and to make sure that we're addressing and preventing a $4 trillion tax increase, which would be detrimental to the U.S. economy.
Well, border security certainly, and that is what America asked for in November when they went to the polls, but also fiscal responsibility. We're sitting on more than $36 trillion in debt, and we now have a new disaster happening and unfolding right now in California. So what about the funding needs for FEMA, who are still dealing with Western North Carolina, to be clear? You still have people in tents there. Now you've got thousands that are now homeless in California. How do you balance fiscal responsibility and the debt situation with the need for funding for FEMA and likely disaster relief, which is one of the first things that's going to land on your desk when you go back to Washington?
We enter unified Republican control following 4 disastrous years of the Biden administration where they were spending like drunken sailors. What we have to be as Republicans and as conservatives is smart on our investments from the federal government. We need to remove the wasteful spending. Things like electric vehicle charging stations that are paid for by the federal government or subsidies to purchase electric vehicles. Instead, we need to be focused on pro-growth agenda to make sure that businesses and employers can hire people and raise wages. If we're smart and targeted in our spending at the federal government level, we have an opportunity to make sure that we're addressing the fiscal situation that we find ourselves in. In particular, we have an opportunity to be investing and securing the border. At the end of the day, that is fiscally responsible to make sure that we're addressing what are long-term issues that we've seen, from human trafficking to the flow of fentanyl. And so if we're unified as Republicans with an American first agenda, we have an opportunity to build on the executive actions that President Trump is going to take on the first day in office to secure the border and make sure that we're funding border security so that we can truly solve the crisis that's occurring at the border. We also have to make sure that we avoid the $4 trillion tax increase and be responsible in spending at the federal level. I think we have an opportunity to do that if we are unified as Republicans. I think it's really smart of President Trump to bring the chairs of the House committees together today in Mar-a-Lago to have that conversation, to make sure that we walk out as a unified front, because if we are unified, we will be in a position to deliver on the agenda the American people have sent and in their election of President Trump.
Congressman, we look forward to the work that you'll be doing in Washington. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon.